I just got done watching the video Time for School, and I just found it interesting that they talked about there's 4 different kids from different places around the world, and it was interesting how all of them love to go to school. And I think when it comes time to go to school in America, children dread it. Like, oh no, well maybe the first day kids like to go back to school just for a change, but then usually after that they don't really want to go anymore. Kids don't really look forward to going to school here, but I think here in America we take for granted going to school and getting an education, because there's millions and millions of kids around the world that can't go to school, or you can go to school for a limited time, or they never even had that opportunity. I don't know what it is, but I think here in America we have an attitude of like school is for nerds, or school is boring, we don't need to go to school, or we just have too many distractions that kids don't want to get an education anymore. In Afghanistan, it's mentioned that 1/3 of children aren't in school, and most of these are girls. And the poor little girl that was talking about it, she loves school, and they mentioned how Afghanistan is one of the most dangerous places in the world, and every day as they're walking to school, like, they never know if they're gonna get captured by the Taliban or whatever, but and they've had a lot of attacks on the schools there, which is scary. So this little girl's dream to go to school, and I like what she says, who doesn't love going to school? And I was like, man, if you ask that to anybody in the United States, most people would be like, well, I don't love going to school, but she liked it. And then after school, she had so many chores to do. She'd go to school all day, and then all the rest of the day she'd just be doing chores. And she mentioned how she loved doing chores too, and I was like, how opposite that is from people in America. We don't want to go to school to start off with, and then we definitely don't want to do chores, especially with good attitude like she had at doing chores. I think it's just the different priorities and the way that people are raised. If we raise children to think that school is a great thing, then they're going to like it. But if we tell them that it's boring and they have to do it, then they're not going to want to do it as much. And then they talked about the little boy from Brazil. And this poor family lived right in the middle of a war zone, pretty much. They had like a ton of drug dealers and gang members where they live, and the mom worries about sending her children outside because she never knows if they're going to get caught in the middle of a crossfire between the police and the gangs. They talk about how school is kind of like a refuge and a place of peace, so they can go and know that they'll be safe and not have to worry about those things while they're at school. This little boy, they mentioned that he was in 5th grade, and he had a friend who was 3 years older than him, so like 8th grade, who was already into drug dealing at such a young age. Crazy. But yeah, they create after school programs to try to keep the kids from getting into drug dealing, try to keep them off the street. And they said that two out of three children drop out of school by the eighth grade and start drug dealing and stuff, which is crazy. Then they talked about India. Let's see. Oh, and this girl had to go to school at night because she had to work all day. If I had to go to school at night, I'm pretty sure that I wouldn't want to go, but she loved going to school, but she had to drop out for a few months because she had to take her cattle somewhere. But then I think she got back into school. Oh, she got put back in, but in the second grade, and she was a lot older, so kids started making fun of her for being so old. She felt self-conscious, so she dropped out. But she had a dream of becoming a teacher and whatnot, but that didn't really happen. And then talked about Japan. In Japan, education's really big. They used to push the kids super hard. They used to go to school on Saturday, but then right before the kids we talked about in the video started school, they kind of cut back, but they've seen that Japan's they've seen that Japan's rankings have kind of gone down because they think it's because the kids they're not being pushed as hard, so they're kind of becoming underachievers instead of pushing themselves as hard as they could. But I just thought it was so interesting how the different kids' perspectives around the world and how they love school. And I think we just take for granted and we don't think about how other kids don't get to go to school and what we really have here in America.